Rugby is all about feeling. The feeling when you crouch, when you bind, when you set.
Live.
The feeling when you go into that first defender. The feeling when you make that first tackle. The feeling when you take that first hit. We are that feeling. We are contact. We are Rhino.
Roll. Next Level Rugby Productions here to show out for the National Collegiate Rugby matchup between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Marion Knights. We're here in Holy Cross, Indiana at Notre Dame University at Stinson Rugby Field, and we have got an absolute match on our hands. My name is Darian Lovelace. I am joined by Pat Clifton. Pat, these are pristine conditions right now, 74 degrees here. We're about ready to be under the lights. What can we expect for this matchup?
Well, I think you can expect a great matchup of two great collegiate powerhouses, some of the best of club rugby in Notre Dame, some of the best of varsity rugby in Marion, and at one of the best cathedrals in college rugby, Stinson Rugby Field. This is one of the absolute best venues in the country. We saw the Golden Dome in the background. Occasionally, you'll get the marching band playing in the background as well when you're on this pitch. It's a fantastic night. Big Rivers versus the Big Ten. Can't wait to sink our teeth into this one.
And what a matchup we will have. Most definitely, Marion Knights will be on the left in blue. Notre Dame University will be on the left in blue, and the Marion Knights will be in white here. We are set up for a wonderful match as teams both get ready to set up.
Absolutely. This is going to be a really good one. We got great coaches, great players on display. An in-state rivalry here, Marion and Indianapolis, and of course Notre Dame and South Bend just up the road.
Let's talk through the Marion forwards we've got in the front row. Number 1, Peters. 2, Ricky. 3, Hernandez. Rooted by their locks, 4, Conley, and 5, Spielman, with the back row in Ariza, Escala, Farrell, and number 8, Justinson in the back row. They'll be connected with the number 9, Hendry. We'll have fly half Lorenzetti connected with the centers, Reed and Ritter. And in the back 3, White, Fine, and Minhart will round out the Marion University Knights. Pat, talk us through the Notre Dame lineup that we'll see here.
Yeah, Notre Dame's got some great players here in the lineup. It looks like Jack Waterhouse lining up at number 8. I wasn't sure if he would be in the lineup tonight, but it looks like he's sneaking in there. He's a freshman out of South Africa, number 18 for the Springboks, or their U18 side, rather. And then you also got here at 10, Ryan Putka. See how he marshals his team around the field. The Fighting Irish are going to need to play a field territory game tonight, and his boot is going to be really important there at number 10. And then, of course, you've got number 8, Patrick McKenzie, who's also a great player for the Fighting Irish.
Super exciting stuff here. We'll take a look at the reserves. We've got 17 Serta, 18 Bardsley, 19 Barnes, 20 Perry, 21 Portelli, and 22 Diaz Polo, with 23 Schaffner to round out Notre Dame University. And within Marion, we will see 16 at Branham, 17 Norris, 18 Romero, 19 Kelly, 20 Fincher, 21 Russell, 22 Jacobs, and the final last man at 23 Roman. It's Friday night here at Notre Dame University. We are here and ready for the matchup. as the teams set up for the kickoff. Notre Dame on the left in the dark blue, the Fighting Irish, and Marion on the right in the white. We've got head referee Jay Hinkle, AR1 Grayson Holden, and then AR2 Spencer Muzar will have the number 4 Adrian Sharkey as Hinkle goes to take the center of the pitch. You really couldn't ask for better conditions. It's 75 degrees. We're going to see it kind of darken up around here as we get ready to play under the lights. Every day is a rugby day as we kick off on this Friday. Kickoff goes up and it's high and back within the 22. Swift run up though, as they are met heavily. Notre Dame University pinned down in the 22. They use a couple of their forwards and are punching it right into the guts of Marion. Continuing now to work it to the right. They take it right back in, trying to set up a good platform, possibly to exit. They use those big crunching forwards, still staying within the 22. Finally look back as a kick goes up, does not make the 22, and they are still playing down in this end. Marion now with possession. Little offload back inside. See some progress there. Ball now worked wide. They find some real estate, but they're met heavily by Notre Dame University, and a counter ruck comes in hot. Notre Dame now with the turnover, and ball gets worked wide. A little bit of a step, and they're now at the 40. Notre Dame using those forwards there. Continuing to use them again. They're really trying to stick it to Marion early on, but an unfortunate knock on here early. We'll now see the first scrum of the game.
Great contest early on in the breakdown. We saw Marion really pressuring with the fence early, and then Notre Dame getting a good steal at that ruck. The tackle area, I think, is going to be where this game is going to be won or lost for either side. Equally skilled, equally talented, but who's going to be more physical and win that breakdown? And early it's been nice and contested. We'll see how the scrum goes here too.
Number 9, Hendry with the put-in for the Knights. Ball gets worked and it's bobbled out towards the back, but it's cleaned up nicely. They attack now within the centers. Forward. Looks like they have some real estate if they can go wide, but ball unfortunately hits the deck and a forward pass. Hinkle calls, so we will have a scrum now going to Notre Dame University.
Getting some word here from the Notre Dame coaching staff that we might have some of the roster scratched a little bit here. Unfortunately, Jack Waterhouse, who I had mentioned is the heralded freshman from South Africa, he's a U18 Springbok. He is out with an injury, so we got maybe a bad lineup in that graphic. So there'll be a couple changes as we get him coming in. So apologies there for those watching at home. That's Patrick McKenzie starting at number 8 for the Fighting Irish, a junior standout.
We love to see the remix on lineups. Notre Dame University under a little bit of pressure as McKenzie tries to use the fend to create some separation. And the defensive line looks strong here in Marion. Good run up coming in and a good contact as they try and work it out wide. This is now the movement for the backs, but big hits coming in early and a turnover now within Marion. They are at the 22. Ball now worked to the right. A little bit of a deep setup behind that looks like it's the number 7 Farrell having to take it in, and because he's isolated, we now see a not releasing penalty going in favor of Notre Dame.
That's right, a rare mistake there by All-American J.D. Farrell. He is going to be one of the more athletic animals on the field today. It's a hard charger, and good job by Notre Dame, not only taking him down early, but getting on top of that ball and earning the penalty as well.
Looks like Lauren Zeddy taking a little bit of a knock and also taking a knee. Athletic trainer coming in to assess the situation, but he looks like he's up, walking it off. Looks like play will continue with a penalty deep within the end. We've seen a lot of rugby down here, Pat. Like you were talking about earlier, the contact and the big hits in the tackle have been massive.
No, this is not homework. I'm trying to find stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these teams trying to set the marker early and establish themselves as the alpha, so to speak.
Looks like that kick does find touch, and we will see the first line out of the match in favor of Notre Dame, and we're finally out of this end.
Just barely into the attacking end for Notre Dame. See this first set piece play. First real attacking platform in the attacking end.
Throw in set by Williams, the number 2. He meets the number 5, Graham, and it looks like the ball will get played out to the first set of hands. A good cut back inside on the hinge, gets them a little bit of meters. Continuing now to find a connection within those forwards. They take it right into the heart of Marion University, but pressure coming in early and an unfortunate knock-on leads to a turnover ball. Marion now with the scrum right outside of the 50.
Yep, early jitters for both of these sides. Some early mistakes. That's going to happen. This is a big, big contest here. Big stage. We've got, as I mentioned, the Big Rivers Rugby Conference, the first and largest all-varsity rugby conference in the country, represented here by the Marion Knights. They finished 3rd in that conference last year. And Notre Dame, of course, in the Big Ten, full of some of the best club teams in the country. It's a great little rivalry here.
Marion now under a little bit of pressure, but the number 8, Justinson, able to get it out, and now a line break, but it looks like it will get called back for an unfortunate mishandling error, a forward pass, and a little tit for tat. Now Notre Dame University will have possession of this scrum.
Just nobody could keep the ball for very long. So far, not much continuity. Haven't really gotten to phase 2 or 3 either side. I expect that to settle down here as we settle into this game.
Notre Dame, the number 9, Mar, set with the put-in. And a big driving scrum coming in from Marion University puts Notre Dame under some pressure. They're forced to cut back in. It looks like there's a contest, but an offsides call for Marion, getting a little bit too antsy on the defensive push, and they'll get a penalty here. Looks like that's the number 7 for Notre Dame, Chavez. He's down, but the number 10, Hutka, will go ahead and kick for touch. A deep kick now puts them into the 22, a Notre Dame throw-in. This is the attacking platform that they want.
I got to imagine that this is what head coach Justin Hickey was talking about, leading up to this game in the week, that when you get your opportunities, you got to take them, and especially to get field position and play rugby in the right end of the pitch. And they're down there now. This is exactly where Notre Dame wants to play. Expect to see them go through the phases here. And this is exactly what they talked about, exactly where they want to be.
Williams set for the throw-in for Notre Dame University. A little bit of a low throw. Now it looks like a little bit of a jumbled miss. Let's see what referee Hinkle has to say. Looks like it'll be a scrum. Oh, the heartbreak for Notre Dame University as Marion now have the chance to attack out of this end.
Yeah, great platform spoiled there. That was a rare low misfire. I got to wonder if the ball slipped out. Maybe some moisture on it. That was usually you see people miss high or left or right, but low there, that was I got to imagine there was something amiss.
Might have been showing a little bit of cheekiness. Maybe they wanted to try and use that front prop, but just couldn't find the connection. Here we see number 9, Hendry. He puts it in again. A little bit of a wheel coming in for Notre Dame University, and it will be a penalty. Now they can breathe a little bit.
Irish penalized for turning the scrum.
Straight to the long arm penalty. That's I think that was the first real sign of a wheel so far. But straight to the long arm penalty there for Notre Dame.
There will be a line out for Marion.
And line out in favor of Marion right at the 50. Both teams really needing to find a little bit of connectivity. It looks like they're doing a lot of work there in the middle, but not gaining a lot of ground. Let's see what they can come up with. The number 2, Ricky, finds some real estate in the front pod. 2 hands are up. There's a knock on, though, for Notre Dame University. Looks like the arm is straight up, meaning that it shows sign of an intentional knock on. And now Marion looking like they wanted to go quick, but electing now to go ahead and hit the boot. Ball is up
The ball stays in.
and does not find touch. A big solid chase coming in from Marion University. Now pin Notre Dame right outside of the 22. Ball thrown wayward after they're under pressure. Marion absolutely swarming. There's a contest at the breakdown, but a not releasing penalty goes in favor of Notre Dame University, and they will look to kick out of this end.
Will kick for a line out.
So far, Marion's really struggling with their indiscipline. It's several penalties that have kind of stacked up against them and allowed Notre Dame to play the ball and really get into their end. That was really the only thing that allowed them to do that. Wasn't a great string of play. It was just penalty after penalty, mostly in the breakdown for the night. So at some point, you want to see them settle in and calm down and maybe take a little bit of aggression out of those breakdowns.
Yeah, they're absolutely chomping at the bits on the defensive pressure, but they'll have to show a little bit of discipline if they want to hang in this game. Ball is thrown down by Notre Dame University after a good contest at the front pod off that line out. Looks like we will bring it back. Hinkle has his arm to the right, meaning that we'll go ahead and we'll take a scrum with Marion University set to put the ball in.
This is a great attacking platform here for the Knights. They look to have the ascendancy so far. I think this is our third pack down. They've got a good shove on the first one. The next one was a penalty against the Fighting Irish, so I think the Knights might have the upper hand in these pack downs the rest of the night.
Hendry puts the ball in. Justison keeps that ball in very well, and now they'll go ahead and attack through the centers. A good straightening line coming in from Ritter. Gains them a little bit of real estate. They've got options on both sides. They elect to go to the left, and out the back pass leads to an open wing. He's at the 22. This is a 1v1. Marion will draw first blood. It looks like that was either the number 14 or the number 11 White. We will wait to see the numbers, but what a try from Marion University to start this half.
Absolutely. Coach John Harley has to be grinning ear to ear after that one. That was a great first phase play. They executed it perfectly. They must have practiced that dozens of times coming into this game. Just got out the back option, and the Notre Dame defenders, two of them bit down on you've got the holders and the hiders, the people that the offense wants you to think is going to get the ball, and the people that they actually are going to slip it to out the back. That time, both of the Notre Dame guys bit on the holders, and the hider got it out the back and was able to score for the Marion Knights. So a well-worked set piece try there for the visitors here.
Marion set with a kick to come. So waiting to hear word about who scored that try. I think that was number 11, White. Kick is up. It's through the sticks. That'll bring us 7-0. Marion leading over Notre Dame. Pat, I love the hiders and the holders, giving yourself options. You're absolutely right. Allows the continuity to really build. And you had mentioned that was going to be super important in this match.
Absolutely. We've seen Marion play with 2 layers of attack now. That's something that they have in their arsenal, and Notre Dame, it tripped them up. And that's, they've had a really tough schedule so far early on, going to overseas. They've played in Ireland, of course, against vaunted Trinity's U20s and Navy, and played some really good teams. By now, they've got to be ready for that second layer of attack.
Ball goes extremely deep, forcing Marion to have to kick out of the 22. A good kick that's met at the 40, and that will be a Notre Dame throw-in.
Do over here for Notre Dame. Last time they had a nice line-out opportunity in the attacking end. They missed on the throw. See if they can connect on this one and get a little bit of continuity in the attacking end of their own.
Williams with the throw-in. It looks like the only jumper with the tape on, number 5, Graham, in the middle. Let's see if they elect to go to the middle. They do. Looks like they wanted to maul. He's tossed to the ground by Marion University, and Notre Dame finds a good rumbling run. Still electing to go to the left. Gaining a lot of meters here as they look now for the backs. It's a very deep setup. They've got a lot of room to attack. A couple of skip passes leads them to being on the far left. Not much meters gained, though, going forward. The number 10 spits it out to a pack of forwards waiting, but Marion is in the face. They elect to go back to the left, trying to find a little bit of wiggle room. Ball is now bobbled, and it goes out. This offense is under so much pressure from Marion. They've got a little bit of space. If they can work it wide, we see a not rolling away penalty, though. Hinkle calls it. And now at Notre Dame, it can have a little bit of time to talk about what their next move is.
Absolutely. The Marion Knights are very aggressive. We've seen it kind of get against them here with these penalties, but it is working when the whistle is not being blown, and they are absolutely disrupting what the Fighting Irish are trying to do. The problem is Marion is doing it very tight, very condensed, and there's a lot of space out wide for the Fighting Irish. So they can get a little bit of go forward, just a couple of go forward carries, and they can get that ball out wide. They're going to have a lot of attacking space.
The Fighting Irish down in the 22. Will they get lucky? Williams set with the throw-in. Finds the connection with Ingram. He snags it out of the air, and now they're off for a maul. This looks very promising. They're continuing to go forward. The Fighting Irish fighting through the contact. They're rolling through, but Marion University, will they put an end to the go forward? They do. Just outside of the try zone, Marion find their forwards, but they're taken straight back. Continuing now to pummel through. Notre Dame now looking to go wide. A little bit of a show and go. The number 10 is through. He's met with a behind the back tackle. They're right at the line, about a meter out. Looks like a Marion player is a little bit stuck under there, but Hinkle continues to ask for play to continue. Trying to use those big forwards. Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, fighting for every inch, but the Knights, so valiant. Their defense looks so strong. Trying now to go a little bit wider. They get around the hinge. Strong latch for the Rucks, but again, trying to cut back inside with the dummy, but Marion doesn't fall for it this time. We see the number 14 calling for it, Ardis. But the forward so ball hungry, as is Marion. But the lack of discipline yet again. They will go ahead and elect to go quick. The number 9 looks like he's in there. And a try now finally scored by Notre Dame University.
Persistence pays off there for the Irish, and it looks like it was Ebe Marr starting it down. The Fighting Irish on the quick tap, penalty after penalty, finally in discipline. Counts on the scoreboard against Marion for the Fighting Irish, and good solid continuity there. They got it. Notre Dame doesn't get paid off if they knock on that ball. They don't get paid off if they get a little antsy and try to do something and make a forward pass. They get paid off by being patient and playing within themselves and sticking to the pattern and the game plan, and that's what they did. And they saw an opportunity, and the 9 took it, and now we've got looks like about to be a tied ball game on our hands.
Kick to come, looks like it's right in front of the stick, so this should be an achievable kick. Kick is up. Flags go up and kick is good. 7-7. It's a tie ball game. Pat, just like you said, Marion University gave Notre Dame about 30 meters in penalties alone. What are they going to have to do in order to try and bring the discipline back down as we enter into the last 20 minutes of this first half?
It can be hard to convince kids sometimes, but you just got to get patient on defense and worry about not letting the gain line move backward. Not get obsessed with trying to make it, not let the gain line move forward, and not get obsessed with trying to take away those tackles for loss and trying to be patient in defense. It's okay to get through 5, 6, 7 phases as long as you're not moving closer to your try line. You don't have to so aggressively move the offense and attack back themselves or look for that turnover. It's okay to play defense. Just be willing to do it for phase after phase.
Kick is up, and it is now at the 22. Notre Dame again pinned into this far left side. Did they get tackled out of bounds? It looks like the flag is up, and Marion now will have the ability to give them a little bit of an answer back.
Marion, they're going to be really good in this line out. They got a couple of really good weapons. And last time they were down in this area and had a line out play just like this, they capitalized on the first phase, and it was 5 points in the corner.
The number 7, Farrell, snags it right out of the air, but he is taken down quickly by Notre Dame. They are right up into the faces of the Knights, but they continue to power their way through. But it looks like an unfortunate knock on gives Notre Dame the ability to tack out. They move it away from the pressure area. They've got some speed, and they're now at the 40. Marion looking extremely condensed as they go ahead and look for that second layer of attack, but Marion not falling for it. There's a contest at the breakdown. It slows it down a little bit, but the Fighting Irish now looking to attack out. They find some players out wide. It's a 1v1, and what a big, massive hit from Marion. Absolutely put to ground. Notre Dame having to reconcile, and it looks like a not releasing penalty for Marion. But Pat, what a defensive effort from the number 11. Looks like that was white for Marion.
Incredible. I was about to laud Notre Dame for finally getting around the edge of that Marion defense, but Zach White came up and didn't just make a timely tackle, but a great tackle for loss, a positive grade tackle, and that's one that causes a turnover and now has the Knights banging on the door of another try.
Yeah, the leg drive was absolutely real on that tackle. Just textbook. You couldn't have asked for more. And then he threw in the leg drive, and that puts Notre Dame under a lot of pressure. We'll have a line out here right at the 5. Marion, the Knights, really tasting for a try. They go ahead and they hit it in the front. They're met heavily, though, by Notre Dame. Taken to ground. They are just tiptoeing on that sideline. They keep the ball in. Just knocking on the door. They're about a meter short, but Marion trying to answer back. They get the low body height. They're picking and going. Continuing to pick and go against the Fighting Irish. All forwards come in hot as they dive at ankles for that try. Marion finally get another try on the board. That'll bring us 12-7. Marion leading.
2 for 2 in the red zone here for the Marion Knights. When they've had a set piece play, they've had either a line out or a scrum in the attacking end. They usually come away with points. That's a sign of a well-drilled team, a good coach team, and Marion taking advantage of their opportunities so far.
This will be a little bit harder of a conversion for Marion. It's on the far left side, but they are showing a lot of promise when they get the momentum going, building that connectivity on attack. They just have to find that discipline on defense, but the home team, Notre Dame, is in no side to be underestimated. First motion for the kicker. He hits it straight up. Looks like it veered a little bit to the left, and that'll still keep us 12-7. But Marion is looking extremely dominating against Notre Dame. Notre Dame is going to have to bring out some skill sets and build that continuity yet again if they want to continue to stay in this match.
Marion, they do seem to be on top right now and have the momentum, and they've certainly owned most of the field territory in the game, but there's some opportunities out there for Notre Dame with that over-aggressive defense if they can kick over the top of it or get around the edge of it.
Looks like Marion might have heard you, Clifton. They go ahead and elect to kick, but unfortunately, it looks like the number 8, Mackenzie, just the right foot steps out of bounds and not doing them any favors as Marion now will get a line out. It looks like right at the 50.
This is a close call here because it looks like McKenzie, if he had a foot in touch as he caught that, it would have been out on the full and it would have been Notre Dame's ball. But I think they're saying that he had 1 foot in and then stepped the second one out. So it's going to be Marion's ball here, but that's always a close one to watch.
Marion now set with the throw in. Ricky finds connection within the back pod, and Hendry now will play it into the 10, but it looks like a knock on coming in from the number 12. Reed will give Notre Dame a good attacking opportunity here down in this end with the scrum.
It can be a lonely pass to catch if you're the number 12 whose job is to catch that ball and bash into 3 or 4 forwards who know you're getting it. That can be a lonely job. And this time, maybe just a little bit of alligator arms. And so we've got Fighting Irish attacking scrum.
Scrum is underway. The Knights putting a lot of pressure on the Fighting Irish, but they find a little bit of go forward around the hinge. It looks like the ball hit the deck and a knock on for Notre Dame. It looks like whenever they're within the 40s, a lot of knock-ons happening for both teams.
Yeah, I blamed the jitters on the last knock-on, so maybe it was just a slippery ball all the way around here tonight.
15 minutes left to go in this first half. At Holy Cross, Indiana, the Notre Dame University Fighting Irish to host for us here. It's Friday night. I don't know if you can hear the crowd, but there are a lot of people here to watch the home team. Hendry throws it in, though, for Marion, and they're off to the races. Reed, though, keeping his hands on the ball, continues to fight through the contact. He's at the 50. Ball now gets played out by Hendry. Good defensive come up, though, coming from Notre Dame. A nice offload from the base, and White is off to the races. This is the try scorer. He steps back inside, continuing to work, and he finds a connection within the offload, and that is yet another try for Marion University.
With Zach White, what a game for him so far. First defensively, now here offensively. A great little scurry and connection back. You love to see him look back outside and find his teammate for the score. The Marion Knights, is this the floodgates opening here a little bit, or are we just waiting for Notre Dame to catch their breath and punch back?
Notre Dame meeting underneath the sticks, having to talk shop as Marion continues to extend this lead 17-7. White is just finding a lot of real estate. Notre Dame is getting caught in the middle, and that's leading to a lot of movement out wide. Kick to come, though, for Marion. Kick is up. Looks like it looks good from this angle. Flag is up, and 19-7. The Knights leading over the home team.
Notre Dame's got to answer back here. Try to wrest control as we march through this half and get closer and closer to the shed. They got to do it methodically and take it bit by bit, and I don't know that they have quite the quick strike capability that Marion does. So they've got to continue to play within themselves.
Kick is up. Notre Dame now finally bringing down the Knights as they look to attack out. A kick goes up at the 40. It's caught by the winger. He steps back inside, tries to find a connection within his backs, but does not. And now they'll go ahead and work it through the forwards. But Marion, this big defense, they're in the breakdown, absolutely wreaking havoc. Notre Dame now take it right into the guts. They're brought down.
Ref playing advantage.
Notre Dame yet again trying to around the corner. The number 10, Putka, takes it in himself. A good striking line comes in for Notre Dame, and they're now right outside of the 22. They work it to the left, trying to find some of those quick strikes we were talking about. Looks like they've got a weak side play, a little bit of dance coming in from Putka and indecisiveness. And Marion now have time to set up their defense. Notre Dame now, nice quick hands. It looks like will White go ahead and meet him. He will not. The wing is now at the 5 meter. This looks very good from Notre Dame. Good go forward coming in from Graham. He's about 2 meters outside. Notre Dame now, the Fighting Irish, fighting for every inch against Marion University. The Knights looking straight up. Big hit, though, coming in. It's a double tackle. They're contesting at the breakdown. Fighting Irish, that was the man with the line break. He's met heavily. They're back at the 5 as Marion continue to push them back. Looks like an offsides call coming in from Henkel will allow a little bit of breathing room for Notre Dame.
I think it was on that John Barnes carry that they caught the Marion Knights just offside a bit. This is a great stretch of run here for the Fighting Irish, and they want to keep running.
Just continuing to fight again. The Irish are underway. They're about a meter out, choosing to give the pick and go. Henkel's now got his head down, conversing a little bit with the AR. The importance of having the ARs on the sideline, but those quick strikes working in favor. Let's see what the decision is. Looks like it's held up as we see claps all around for Marion University.
Penalty on Marion.
Penalty for offsides. Marion, the lack of discipline, gives the ball right back to Notre Dame, and Hendry gives it back into big runners. The number 2, Williams, trying to take it into the heart of Marion University, using the pick and go, absolutely rolled to ground. They're so strong in the contact around the hinge. Graham dishes a fend. Can he get his long limbs over? He cannot again. Marion with the big hits. Trying to go again at ankles. The Fighting Irish, can they get one more in? But they cannot as they're put into the grass. A little chip kick over the top, but it looks like White comes up with the ball. He touches it down, and that'll be a 20. That'll be a drop kick for Marion University.
Goal line dropout. This is, of course, the 2nd or 3rd season we've had this in the game. It's an exciting play because you got to make a big kick under a lot of pressure. Of course, there's a lot of room in these deep Notre Dame try zones to be able to make that kick, but generally speaking, it's going to stay in bounds, and you're going to be right back under pressure with one of those attacking, counter-attacking runs bearing right back down on you.
Looks like we got a player down for Notre Dame. These big hits, though, coming in from Marion is just getting the Fighting Irish just absolutely with no options, really. They can only take it to go forward, and it's just a big wall of defenders in Marion.
Absolutely. You let these guys get set up, these big, meaty defenders, right? This Marion team. That's part of, we talked about varsity club a little bit. You got a varsity team against a club team here in Marion. And one of those differences is Marion's got a strength and conditioning program. They're in that weight room. They've got S&C coaches that they're working with, and, you know, lifting and training 5 days a week and sometimes multiple times a day. And you can tell in those fringes, they're able to attack those guys off the breakdown and really assert some dominance and power there. But Notre Dame's still finding and picking their spots, and especially when they're able to go quick. When you can change the gain line quickly and make that defense back up, even if it's just 6 or 8 inches, you can change the point of attack and really get going. So that's what Notre Dame's got to do, is just beat the gain line once, twice, 3 times in a row, and then you got the defense backing up. Even if it's just a couple inches, it really matters. They're close to the goal line.
And Notre Dame, the home team, bringing out a big crowd as the kick goes right within the 40, and they're going to go ahead and take it straight into center field. They've got options on both sides. They elect to go to the left, looking for the double layer attack. They find a behind the back pass and an offload in contact. Gets them a little bit of go forward as they go ahead and have to work it to the right. The forwards are working tirelessly in these pods. The number 10 gives it yet again to Graham. He's so ball hungry. Keeps his legs going, though. Absolutely throwing those arms left and right. Trying to get some space. They go ahead and work it back to the left, but Marion in the face of Notre Dame. Putka takes it yet again into the defense, but the centers now taking it upon themselves to go ahead and get that go forward. A good offload gets him taken to ground, though. They're within the 22, and they are using those forwards yet again. It looks like that was Pierce. The captain, Kutka, again going right in with the dummy, but a knock on now with Marion now on the attack. Ball is bobbled and a scrum, unfortunate for Notre Dame University, as Marion now have the ability to attack out. They've got a lot of room to work with. We've got about 7 minutes left in this first half.
It'll be interesting to see if they try to run this one out or if they take the kicking option. That's obviously the conventional play. If they do that, they'll be right back under pressure. You get the idea. This is a pivotal run, a series of play here for this game. Notre Dame knocking on that door. If they let Marion get out of here and go into the halftime down 2 scores or worse, you're going to feel like a missed opportunity.
Ball is out of the scrum, and the number 12 loses it, but it looks like a not releasing play called for Notre Dame and a penalty in favor of Marion.
This is exactly what you didn't want to have happen. If you're the Fighting Irish, you were just on the cusp of scoring, had them up against the wall. Couple penalties later, and you are now under pressure yourself. They've completely flipped the script, and so now it's a big moment for Notre Dame. If you can still take a lot out of this half if you can shut them down here and get into the shed. But if you leak a score here, I've got a feeling it's going to be a little deflating.
Yeah, big ask coming in for Notre Dame. Is if they can get one more try in before the half, that'll make them feel more secure going into halftime. But Marion, if they can connect well, they do so well. Ball comes off of the top of the middle pod and is now in center field right outside of the 50. Marion looks to go to the left. They've got players out wide. They cut back inside, though, after not finding connection within White or Ritter. They go back to the right, and now they're continuing to build this attack. Find some options, though, on the inside. Looks like an obstruction call. And this is exactly what Notre Dame University most likely wanted. They've got 5 minutes left and a penalty in center field.
Absolutely. You got to play the game, so you also got to get that ball into touch.
Oy, and now Marion University able to field that ball cleanly. They are off to the races yet again. It's deja vu. The number 10 gives it to the forwards in that pod formation. They've got the numbers out wide. If they can use the double layer attack, they do. Looks like they will take it off to the races. It's a 2v1. He cuts back inside. They come across, but Marion, the heartache for the Fighting Irish as the Knights punch in another 5, bringing our score 24-7 against the home team.
Yeah, a little skirmish, some afters in the try zone there. Some people not happy about something that transpired during that score. Surprised not to see a card or a referee intervention at all, but yeah, what a turn of events. Notre Dame just a few minutes ago, looking like they were about to come within 1 score. Really bring this one close going into halftime, and then Marion punches back. They traded a little bit of back and forth there, turning the ball over a couple of times in the midfield, but Marion able to score from long distance where Notre Dame's having to generate their offense phase by phase. See if they can open it up here in the second half. I think they're going to have to do it with their kicking game, and if they do well, Marion is susceptible to it. I'm seeing in their shape some big holes across the field. If Fighting Irish are able to put the ball in, they're able to collect one of those regatherable kicks. It could be a real game changer and something to slow down that Marion defensive line a little bit.
The number 10, Lorenzetti, set to kick for 2 points. Kick is up. Looks like it might have gone in between the sticks, and that'll bring us 26-7. Now, Notre Dame, they look very promising whenever they look unpredictable. Those little offloads that they've been working within those spaces, it makes it so that Marion University, with how strong they are, just cannot seem to hang. But as you said, Pat, the problem is that ball has to go to hand. They've got to maintain possession, and Marion is just doing a better job. Notre Dame can still stay in this game if they can maintain the ball in hand and attack. They will probably get the last bit of the kickoff as they go ahead and set for the kick. It's a deep back within the 22. Marion will go ahead and give the boot straight back. Mackenzie's underneath it, and he gives it back in to Puka. Puka shifting, finding a little bit of space on the inside. He takes it right into the defense. It's a 1v1 tackle, but ball hits ground. Hinkle, though, says play on for the Fighting Irish. An offsides call coming in as they're quick to jump the gun, and the arm still stays out. The Fighting Irish having to maintain their weight in the ruck as the ball is now fed out, but that penalty, that offsides for Marion University now gives Notre Dame the last 2 minutes to really have a lot of room to work with.
Good carry there by Barnes. The number 6 blindside flanker. He was a U18 player for the Jamaican national team, so he's a prize recruit and good get there for Justin Hickey and the Fighting Irish. And they're going to go to the corner. They're down at this point, too many points to settle for the kick. They want to try before they head into the shed. I think this is a great call for the Fighting Irish.
Okay. If you want to cover for a minute.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Fighting Irish now with the throw-in. They're at the 5. We've seen that connection between Williams and Graham all day, but it's the maul that the Fighting Irish show out against Marion. So we see a little bit of indecisiveness. Looks like a player was down, but he's up and running, and a little bit of a regroup coming in.
We saw Notre Dame with a really successful maul earlier. I know it's in their arsenal. It's something they've worked on, and it is a tough thing to stop when you get it right. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Irish look for a maul again here.
Okay, lovely. Cavalieri.
And you want to see a maul. Who doesn't love a good mauling try? Can they? If they can hear us, the commentators would love to see it. Williams set for the throw-in. Looks like conversations now put to an end. Hinkle asked for ball to go ahead and be played, and Williams sets up. Graham in the middle. He gets it perfectly, and now they're going to go ahead and maul, but Marion read it like a book. They're all over it at the back. Hinkle calls them off. Ball is now considered a tackle, and they're going to continue to punch it through. It's at the pod. They're still at the 5. Trying to give multiple options. We saw a beautiful line from Barnes earlier. He takes it right in. Graham, though, using that big, long body, he tries to get over, but Marion stifling any options. But it looks like low was Pierce. He's still short, though. Marion just trying to find anything, and looks like they finally get a try. Notre Dame University get the last say in this first half.
It's exactly what we needed. Punching that one in right there. We're going to have a 2-score game going into halftime. The Fighting Irish, the home team, pulling it close again. Got a fantastic crowd here tonight at Stinson Rugby Field. This is week 2 in a row of Friday Night Rugby, primetime collegiate rugby. We've had huge crowds last week at Harvard, this week here at Notre Dame. We love to see it.
Every day is definitely a rugby day, and what better time to have a rugby match than on Friday night? Notre Dame, kudos to you and your crowd. You guys are absolutely showing out. Kick to come. It's to the right, but right in front of the sticks. Very achievable.
So is this conversion last play of the half, or is?
Believe it or not, there's a lot of crazies out there that say that you can't play fall 15s because of college football. And somehow here at Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish are pulling it off with a huge crowd and a great show.
Kick goes up. It is good, and that'll bring us 26-14. Marion's still leading, but Notre Dame with the last answer of this first half. Pat, we will still be here for the second half here at Stinson Rugby Field in Notre Dame, Indiana. We're going to see an absolute collision of both sides here in the second half. You better stay with us.
On my mind a lot, don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You like my oxygen, make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in, from the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in, then break you out. In the end, we gon' make a child. Then we gon' hit the show. Part 2, we don't need no pause. You with Misty, we gon' get tipsy. Don't need a power shot.
Copy my steel. Face the fact that ain't no cap, I'm real. No cap, I'm real.
In our game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Rugby is all about feeling. The feeling when you crouch, when you bind, when you set. The feeling when you go into that first defender. The feeling when you make that first tackle. The feeling when you take that first hit. We are that feeling. We are contact. We are Rhino.
So I got myself a tire, 10-foot pole, some shims, a drill, a grinder, a level, and some scrap metal. An 80-pound bag of concrete and a bucket. Did safety. Drilled holes in the top. Cut my scrap metal and zip tied it all together. Then it was time to mix the concrete, but I made it too soupy, so I added more of it. It was too much for one bucket, so I got a second bucket. That still wasn't enough. So I got a big tub that I can mix all the concrete in together, at which point I realized that I didn't have enough concrete to fill the tire. So I had to go run to the store to go buy more. But by now it was starting to get dark, so I had to just hope I put the pole in straight. So I was surprised. The next morning I woke up to the straightest pole I had ever seen. There's nothing left but to move the ball and then destroy your girlfriend. Hit the nets. Saturday the 16th, and you two can get a chance to get hit in the nuts.
This is a favorite way of eating cereal. I think this would be a great pre-workout snack. Jesus and the church is going to die. Again, they will find a way to control relationships. If you look at the three facts of Jesus, which I think favor Christianity in this weird way, that is not the thing y'all have turned him into. Y'all have Americanized Jesus as a way of not only propaganda, but you have God. That was the opposite of Jesus. Was this thing? People that you were criticizing, going against, are the only people that Jesus had a relationship with. He did nothing but protect cow whores, prostitutes, people in jail. Like the famous story of Letty Who without saying Cass's first name. He would protect a prostitute. It's crazy. It's like that's why so that's why the church is like looks that y'all call the only four accounts of him. This dude ran around with 12 thugs. If he was here today, y'all would cry. Jesus and the church.
And welcome back, team, to Stinson Rugby Field in Notre Dame, Indiana, where the Fighting Irish are hosting Marion University. My name is Darian Lovelace. I'm here with Pat Clifton. Pat, even though Marion, they look so athletic, they look so determined, and they just are showing absolute raw athleticism. One thing has to be said about Notre Dame University's persistence and their fight. They got the last try of the first half, bringing the score 24-12. What can we expect from Notre Dame? What do you think that conversation was like with Coach Hickley at the half?
I think he probably just rewarded their stoicism and their consistency and stick-to-itiveness to the game plan, asked for him to do it a little bit more. And my guess is he saw some of those kicking opportunities that are on and said, hey, let's attack some of that space with our boot too.
And Marion decided to get a little bit of taste of their own as the number 15, Gordon, chips a little kick over the top and pins Marion back in their end. Marion now going ahead and kicking. It looks like Notre Dame has won that little bit of territory as they go ahead and kick. Ball gets bobbled towards the back. And it looks like referee Hinkle will call a call. Unsure of what the call is. Looks like we might have a scrum in favor of Notre Dame or a conversation between two captains.
I thought we saw a pretty egregious late hit there against the Notre Dame kicker, the fullback. And I don't know that the referee thought it was behind his back, but it looks like one of the assistant referees did and radioed it in. And it's going to be a great opportunity here for the Fighting Irish.
Kudos to the AR. That's why we have them. It gets so chaotic there. So Hinkle will probably thank them later. Notre Dame now off to the races. They are just taking it right into the heart of Marion University. But the Knights, their defensive wall looks good as they continue to come up. Ball is taken straight to ground with a big hit. Putka gives a little chip kick. It's up in the air. It's fielded, though, by Notre Dame. They still are right outside of the try zone, but they're about 2 meters out. This looks very promising for them as they go within the forwards. But a contest, though, over the ball. Marion slowing it down a little bit as the Fighting Irish continue to fight. They are so persistent down in this end. Continuing to work it through Graham. He's so ball hungry. Legs kind of go up a little bit. Marion's going to have to stay disciplined here in this end. They go out the back. They do another chip kick. Looks like a runner is out there for Notre Dame. Can he make it to the inside? Is that a try for Notre Dame? They're short. It looks like about a meter. Looks like it's in the try zone, though. Notre Dame. Oh, unfortunate for them. But Pat, it's almost like they heard you from up here. What a good expectation from Hickey, the head coach of Notre Dame. We're seeing so much more kicks coming from them.
Yeah, and it's working. And unfortunately, it's rare you see a cross kick get caught and then held up, but a great covered tackle there from the Marion Knights. And, these deep try zones of the Fighting Irish, this is their home turf. They know the parameters, and they're going to stretch every inch of it.
Drop kick from the try zone finds it in the hands of Notre Dame. A little bit of some shake and bake, and an offload leads to an intercept pass from Marion. Looks like it was a knock on, and Notre Dame will give up possession to Marion with the scrum right outside of the 22.
Yeah, Notre Dame, we saw them go a couple of those deep opportunities go missing in the first half. Still within a couple of scores, but they can't afford to make too many more trips into the red zone without coming away with points. So Notre Dame really going to want to try and keep Marion pinned deep here. Doesn't look like they're going to want to kick first phase. I see a runner pretty poised to take it here.
Hendry goes ahead and finds the number 12 Reed, continuing to pump the legs right on through, gains them a little bit of meters as the forwards come in hot. Looks like they're set to kick, and they do. Marion shoots up the boot of their own. Notre Dame, they're waiting for that kick, and they go ahead and attack. A step back inside leads to a bunch of meters gained for them as they are now deep within the end. But the Fighting Irish come away with the ball as it looked like Marion, again, the lack of discipline leads to a turnover ball.
Yeah, this time it wasn't necessarily the over-aggression of Marion that got them the penalty, but really the front foot ball of Notre Dame. They just didn't get back on sides in time, and being applied pressure by the Fighting Irish, the Knights just were not quick enough. And this time the Irish pushing the issue forward, pushing that ball forward into the corner, earning the penalty, forcing the penalty of their own. Great job by the Irish applying some attacking pressure with ball in hand.
Yeah, they're definitely showing a little bit of flair here as they're down within the 22. A lot of rugby played here in the second half as Williams will go ahead and set with the throw in. Graham is up. He fields it cleanly, gives it to Mar, who gives it to the forwards. And what a big collision, just absolutely bumped off Marion as they set for the defensive line. Graham takes it right into contact. Ball is secure as Putka moves it wide. Ball is in the hands of the winger. Can he stay in? Marion all over that ball, and he is tackled into touch.
Yeah, unfortunate, but you still have an opportunity here for the Fighting Irish to pressure this line out. This is a difficult spot to execute for the Marion Knights. Everything's going to be examined. The throw has to be perfect. Every movement in the line out has to be perfect. You're under a lot more pressure down here. And if you miss a throw here, the penalty is a lot greater than midfield.
Ricky gives it to the number 4, Conley. He goes up and then Taken right in to the center of the pitch is Marion. Looking like they might want to run one more phase, but they find a lot of faith in the kicker. Ball bounces a little bit and unfortunately goes right out. We can see the heartbreak coming in for Notre Dame. The number 11 fielding, not able to field that cleanly, but it will be a throw-in for Notre Dame University.
Marion still haven't cleared their lines entirely, haven't gotten back into the attacking end since Notre Dame was just on the doorstep. See if the Fighting Irish can make another foray into the red zone here.
Williams, will he find the target in Graham? He does yet again. He's got so much height in the lineup, but Graham is taken down quickly by Marion. The Knights are on the attack. A lot of defensive pressure coming in, causes a mishandling from Putka, and now the Marion Knights will get possession of the scrum.
Not sure if that was just a mishandle by Putka or if that pod was set up maybe just on the outside boundary of his range as a passer, but it was a little low and resulted in the knock on. So we've still got this midfield tussle as somebody tries to make the first attempt at supremacy here in the second half.
Put in coming in from Hendry. He moves it to the fly half, who then moves it within the centers. Both Reed and Ritter have been massive in the first half. Going ahead now, they move it to the right. There's a little bit of a gap in between, but a jersey tackle brings them down. An offload keeps the ball going. They're at the 40 now. Marion looking to go to the left, seeing a little bit of real estate there. They're over the 40 now. Working the ball wide. They find good connection between the Knights and the Fighting Irish. Ball is slowed down with the contest at the ruck, but Marion, that raw athleticism, knocking on the door. They go ahead and look to move it wide. And a turnover now happening for Notre Dame. They're off to the races. It doesn't look like anybody will catch him. Can he make it all the way? Notre Dame, what an answer back for the second half.
Absolutely. That's it looked like a pick six, one of the ones where it hits the receiver's hands and then the D-back grabs it and takes it all the way. Marion was on the move in the attack and knocked the ball on. Great heady play there by the Notre Dame outside back to catch that ball and then evade the tacklers and outsprint them all the way to pay dirt. We've got a great, fantastic game here. Notre Dame back-to-back scores on either side of halftime. And if he can sink this kick, it's going to be just a try difference.
Kick to come. It's on the far left, so it's a pretty hard angle of a kick, but 26-19, Notre Dame with both of the tries at back-to-back. We talked earlier about their persistence and their fight as they continue to just stay in this game. They're maintaining their discipline. They've got the speed, and they do so well in open space, as we just saw.
Notre Dame doing a good job. We've talked, I've harped on a couple of times they've gotten into the red zone and not come away with points. They really are doing a good job of taking advantage of the opportunities that Marion's given them, and Marion's given them plenty, whether it's at penalties and in this time at a turnover. Just a really great Johnny on the spot play by the Fighting Irish here to capitalize on that one.
Ball is up. Looks like it might have gone to the far right. We will still stay 26-19, but the Fighting Irish are knocking on the door of the Marion Knights. We talked about the contest happening between the two teams at Marion. They looked so fit and so fast in that first half, but the flair of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish really throwing a wrench into their game plan.
I mentioned earlier, Notre Dame is very battle tested. They went to Ireland on tour. They played a couple really, really, really tough opponents over there. They came home. They got a get well game against Trine, and then open Big Ten play with a tough loss at Wisconsin. But they've already battle tested. They're 3 games in. Marion's only got 1 game. You wonder if that's going to come into play here in the late stages.
Ball now is being moved to the left-hand side. These forwards have just been working so tirelessly between Pierce and Graham, the 2 primary ball carriers. They try and work it wide, and they're just not able to field it. And Notre Dame don't want to do Marion any favors. It looks like they elected to go ahead and do a quick lineout, but Hinkle did not move an inch. He calls it back, and we're starting to see Marion try and push the pace a little bit, but they're going to have to watch to not get too frantic as Notre Dame is maintaining their discipline very well.
So the Knights score off a line-out play early on in this game. Open their account that way. A couple of great targets there in the middle.
Looks like we got a substitution. Hernandez goes off in number 18. Romero comes in. We love to see the prop love. They're probably hyping each other up per usual. Williams now, they're trying to figure out their lineup, but he sets up Ricky, excuse me. Finds it in the back. The number 7, though, just decides to take it right up. And what an amazing offload right into the prop. Is he over the line? Wow. Peters just answers back with a beautiful pop pass from Farrell. That is just money of the line out. What a set piece play from them.
Yeah, just a real Notre Dame falling asleep on that one. J.D. Farrell takes the line out, brings it down, charges forward. You got to tackle that ball as soon as those cleats hit the ground. Notre Dame fails to challenge that guy, and he sets him off free, springs the offload, and Clay Peters is able to barrel over for the score, wrestling back that momentum for Marion. So bang, bang, just like that, Marion reestablishes a 2-score lead, and the Fighting Irish got some more work to do.
And who doesn't love a good prop try? You know, we talk so highly of our front row, but everybody loves to see the big man make it through into the try zone. Kick still set to come. We're at 30-19, but still a lot of time to play for these two very strong sides with the kick to come up for Marion. Ball is up. Looks like it might have swerved a little bit to the left. Kick is no good. We're still at 30-19 with about 27 minutes left to go. This game could honestly go either way still.
100%. We've seen it early. Notre Dame came out swinging here in the second half. A lot of really deft attacking kicks. Let's see if that slows down this Marion defensive line. Only a couple of times you're going to chip over the top of those forwards, and are they going to tolerate that, especially if they're running at full pace and have to turn around? So see if that slows that Marion line down a little bit and allows Notre Dame to take advantage of some of the width out wide. That's what that kicking over the top usually does. And if it doesn't, if Marion keeps releasing the hounds, then look for Notre Dame to kick just over the top of them like they did to start this second half.
As a back row, I've got to say, I don't know much about the kicking game aside from the fact that I don't like being in the middle of it. Looks like that we're going to see a big kicking game happening from both of the sides as Marion goes ahead and kicks out of the 22. Ball does not go out of bounds. Oh, no. Notre Dame looking like he just took his eyes off of the ball for just a split second. And that'll be a scrum for Marion right outside of the 40.
Yeah, there was some space out wide here, I think, for them Notre Dame to attack from. But you got to catch and pass before you can do anything else that's pretty cool on the field. And now a great attacking platform, a split scrum right in the middle of the field. Everything's on the table for Marion in this set piece.
Number 9, Hendry for the Knights will go ahead and put the ball in. It looks like it is taken cleanly. The number 8, Justison, moves it to the center. He's met heavily, though, by Notre Dame, and a turnover now leads to the forwards taking it right into the Knights. They're on the attack, though. They're going to go ahead and move it left. Graham, of course, he's going to go ahead and take that ball straight into contact. They've got some numbers wide if they can move it. Oh, and unfortunately, yet again, it looks like it was a knock on, but referee will go ahead and bring it back for the original call of a knock on, and that will go in favor of the Fighting Irish, the home team.
Really fortuitous call there. Long advantage being played. Generally speaking, with a knock on, it's just once the other team has ball and clean ball on their feet and are able to make a pass, that's usually knock on advantage gain, but we're going to bring it back here for the Fighting Irish.
Looks like we have Looks like we have a substitution coming in. Mar comes off, and Portelli will go ahead and do the put in for the Fighting Irish. Good footwork happening back there, but a little bit of pressure causes the ball to kind of slow it down. They do look to kick. This ball rolls right out of the 22. It was back behind the 50. So I'm wondering if we'll have a 50-22.
Be a great outcome for the Irish for sure.
Looks like the arm goes to the left, meaning that Notre Dame will take possession of this ball. It was a new rule that was implemented, which honestly brings the skill set of the kickers up. He kicked it from behind the 50 and it rolled out of the 22. Originally, prior to this rule change, that would have meant that Marion would have gotten possession, but now Notre Dame will be on the forefront as Graham tries to maul it through. He's taken down though. And we just see the forwards trying to take it right in, but they just get so antsy, that white line fever. And now it'll be a scrum for Marion University deep within the 22.
Well, we've seen this story before, of course. Notre Dame having the ball deep in the attacking end, turning it over. Let's see if they can get the ball back, not allow the Knights to clear their lines here, which certainly they're going to look to do, whether it's first or second phase. But a great field position change here for the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, Fielding and Prame, both for Notre Dame, setting up to look for that. And it looks like a penalty goes in favor of Notre Dame University, and the Fighting Irish will now go off to the races yet again. Little bit of talk. Putka wants to kind of slow this down a little bit, get them a little bit more meters down, and he'll go ahead and look for the line out right at the 5. Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, now we'll go ahead and get yet another opportunity to go ahead and get another try in.
Wouldn't be surprised at all to see they've got some time to communicate here. They're in the corner. If they look for a cross kick, whether it's directly off this line set play or it could be a phase or two in. They've got these deep try zones. A lot of margin for error. We've seen them kick in this attacking end before. Not afraid to do it. Also wouldn't be shocked to see him just give it to the Patrick McKenzie right there, puffing his chest out there at number 8 at the tip of that triangle, that forward pod. He's been a hard carrier tonight, and he probably wouldn't mind a shot at that try line.
I love that Williams just got his head taped on the sideline. We love the violence here. Ball goes up. Graham, of course, gets it, and the Fighting Irish are fighting with them all. It looks like Marion is doing a good job of containing it, but ball goes out the back, and that is yet another try for Marion University. It looks like that was Pierce, for Notre Dame University, the home side. The Fighting Irish get another try on the board.
What a game. I mean, a fantastic score for Notre Dame. Just right slug from Notre Dame, left slug from Marion, right slug from Notre Dame. It looks like the ending scene from Cinderella Man out here. We've got a fantastic contest. And the Fighting Irish, really methodical. And those mauls are tricky, especially you don't know where the ball is. And that time, Marion definitely lost track of it. And the Fighting Irish were able to squirt in for a try on the side. And we've got ourselves a little 6-point game. Could be a 4-point game, depending on how this kick goes.
Kick to come on the far right side after a beautiful maul, but it was the chaos that came in from Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish, you are so right, are absolutely slugging it to Marion. That looks so athletic in the first half, but they are not going to let this win go by easily on their home field. Kick to come. Kicker gives it the boot. It's a hard kick. It's far to the right, so unfortunately, they will not get the conversion, but we're at 24-30. Marion University, the Knights still leading, but Notre Dame University are not going to let this go quietly.
And so you got to take a second to just tip of the cap to Indiana rugby. The Hoosier State is really becoming one of the hotbeds of rugby, and not just college rugby, but of course they've had a great high school rugby program for years that are feeding a lot of these college programs. But now recently, Marion being one of the newest, Trine, one of the newest, You got 2 varsity programs in the state between Indiana and Notre Dame, 2 really great club programs. Just really impressed by the depth and the talent of college rugby throughout the state of Indiana, and it's really on display here tonight.
And we love how many people are also watching, because this is what we want to do on a Friday night. We see a big contest, though, happening at the Ruck. Who will Hinkle give the penalty to? It's not releasing, and it goes in favor of Marion University. This is not what the Fighting Irish want. Marion is so good right outside of that 22.
We've seen that. It's almost like the best thing you can do for the Marion offense is let the defense get scored on, because as soon as Notre Dame manages to punch one in, you see them come swinging harder and faster than ever. And the Knights now banging on the door for another quick strike reply, which we've seen them do a couple of times already tonight.
Throw in for Marion. They're within the 22 after a good, successful kick from Lorenzetti finds its way into touch. Looks like they've got a full line out. So the real question is, will they do a maul? Ricky throws it up, but the number 7, Farrell, takes it right into the guts of Notre Dame. They are in the faces, so they're forced to cut back inside. Good defensive effort from Notre Dame as they continue to come up. A good cut back inside yet again, finds a little bit of real estate there. The number 10, Lorenzetti, gets a try in for Marion University, bringing our score 36-24, 35-24, Marion leading.
That's a great play there by Lorenzetti. Started out as a scrum half there at Marion and has transitioned, bumped down to fly half. Looks like it's been a smooth transition for him. You can beat that sharp, hard line speed into the inside. Oftentimes, it's going to mean a big line break, and that's exactly what happened there. Notre Dame was hunting hard. Lorenzetti saw that maybe his defender could be stepped inside. He did just that and was able to dart right through and dot one down for the Knights, who reestablish a 2-score lead. It's going to take a little more effort, but we've seen Notre Dame reach in the bag and pull out some magic before. Let's see if there's any of that gold dust left.
Yeah, we've got less than 20 minutes in the second half. Kick to come for Marion, so he'll probably milk the clock a little bit here, extend their lead. We saw Notre Dame really try and fight to get and close the door on the defense, but they left so much room on the hinge of the defense on the inside. And Lorenzetti, he read that like a book. The number 10s, they love to cut back inside when they see it, and he gets a try with a conversion still yet to come. He could have 7 points to his name. Kick goes up. Looks like it's going to the left. That'll still keep our score 30. Says 36-24 on the scoreboard. Marion leading.
Still plenty of opportunity, plenty of time here for Notre Dame. They only need 2 tries to get back into this thing.
The Fighting Irish, the home team, they've got the crowd backing behind them. They go ahead and they kick deep. It's down in the 22. Will Marion go ahead and exit? They do. This kick will find touch. We've seen numerous kicks kind of get caught up in the middle there for Notre Dame, so they've had the opportunity to attack out, but now they've got to buy some time, get set with the line out.
A lot of depth here in this Notre Dame back line. Going to have a couple layers of attack here. Potentially look to flood some of the outside channels with some numbers.
Ball goes up. Notre Dame. Graham is so good in that line out. He maintains possession, but there's a lot of pressure coming in from the Knights. So Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, are really going to have to fight. Graham, not usual for him to get beat back. And a knock on, it looks like, for the Fighting Irish, leads to Marion. Now they are on the attack, and they look like they are ready to fight for another try. They look now to chip kick over the top. There's a little bit of pressure coming in. There's 3 Marion University players, and they fielded so cleanly. That was such a beautiful play for Marion University. And Notre Dame, the heartbreak and the frustration is starting to set in these last 15 minutes.
Yeah, just the bounce of the ball on that one went Marion's way. Sometimes that's all you need. You got to hoist that kick up there, hope for the best. Every once in a while, the ball will bounce your way. You're going to catch it on the trot and run it under the posts. And that's what happened here for the Knights. Now taking a 3-score lead. It might be insurmountable at this point. If he sinks this kick, it would take more than 3 tries for Notre Dame to catch the Knights, which might be too big of an ask this late in the game.
Kick to come. Score is 41-24. We've got less than 14 minutes in the second half. A little bit of time spent back there. Henkel goes ahead and tells him to go ahead and boot, goes to the left, and conversion is no good. Our score still remains 41-24. But even though it looks like I'd be extremely shocked if they were able to punch in 3 tries, but I don't want to put it past them. Notre Dame University still really have a lot of heart and determination. We saw the persistence and the fight from them early on. Though a win might be a little bit far of a shot, their last answer in this match is really going to be important, especially early on in the season.
Yeah, this is a big contest for both of them. Obviously, Notre Dame does not want to start the season out 1-3, but when you look at how tough a schedule they have, you can't blame them. It's a very strong strength of schedule, and it's not going to get much easier for them as they've got a big matchup with the Ohio State Buckeyes looming. Another Big Ten matchup. Marion's about to head into their Big Rivers Conference play as their next match is at Aquinas. They're in Michigan, very well coached side. And Big Rivers is up for grabs, totally up for grabs. Defending champs Thomas More graduated some serious talent, and Marion looks like an early contender.
Ball goes up. Notre Dame University is able to field it. Marion almost getting over top of that ball and getting a turnover, but they're now off to the races. Pierce cuts back inside, but met so heavily. They're just so strong in the contact. Ball goes off of the shoulder of Notre Dame, but an offsides penalty. They're getting way too antsy. And Hinkle now will go ahead and call for a penalty. A deep kick now allows for Notre Dame to be within their 22. Friday Night Lights, though, everybody. National Collegiate Rugby. Both sides getting to really showcase their talent with the help of Next Level Rugby Productions. What an amazing night to go ahead and tune in. We love the Friday Night Lights, and we know that we're all here for it. Ball goes up. Graham snags it right out of the air. It's taken down, though. Notre Dame University, the Fighting Irish. Will they fight till the end for another score? The number 3 Pierce takes it in, but they're just all over that ball. We see them yet again, though, with an offsides penalty.
Actually, an interesting call here. If you take the 3 points, it's only a 2-score game. If you manage to slot it, gives you 10.5 minutes. You're going to have to score 3 times no matter what you do. You take the points, then you only got to score 2 times. And you do it relatively quickly. You might have enough time to make this one a real contest. You know, who are we to put this one to bed early, Darian? If you watch some of the Fiji whales in the Rugby World Cup, I'm not so sure that Notre Dame is the Fiji of college rugby, but, you know, anything's possible for sure.
You know, if there's one thing that can be said about rugby, it's that if you show a little bit of heart, it ends up paying off pretty great. So I think that they heard you from up here. Notre Dame will go ahead and look to kick for points. Now, this will give them 3 extra points that they can slot it through, and they still have the ability to regain possession. Will we see a repeat of Fiji and Wales? TBD. Kick is up. It is good. So that'll bring our score 27-41. Marion is still leading, and we've got less than 10 minutes here.
Now, I really like to see that ball go to boot, just like Fiji did in the late minutes. It was kind of puzzling to see them in that match. Of course, one of the funnest matches to watch, the Rugby World Cup, the third largest sporting event in the world behind the Summer Olympics and the Soccer World Cup, is going on right now in France. And that's been one of the funnest games to watch. And they were able to play rugby, let it fly throughout the final, waning minutes. And that's what Notre Dame's going to have to do here. They're going to have to kick this ball. They're going to have to take some chances and get a couple of balls to bounce their way if they're going to pull this comeback off.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need some flair, just like the Fijian side. We're going to go ahead and see a contest right at the 10. Marion, it gets underneath it, and they're able to gain the ball. The ball goes to the back, though, because of this pressure coming in from the Fighting Irish. They are swarming over this ball, but a little bit too antsy. A high tackle called, and Hinkle, our head referee, puts his arm up, and Marion will probably go ahead and slow this game down.
Not a bad result for Notre Dame, other than the fact that they're going to get to tick the time off the clock here. Midfield line out, a lot of potential error here in a line out. There's a lot of mechanics that have to go right, especially late in the game. The possibility for error just grows and grows as you get reserves coming in, executing things that other guys have been doing all game. Now you can see a little confusion about where we're going in the line out here as Marion sets up.
Yeah, number 17, Norris, it'll be his first throw in. Oh, a contest, though, at the front of the line out allows Notre Dame to regain possession. It's a little bit chaotic as now they go off to the races. We see a dummy coming in from the number 6, but he elects to go ahead and take it straight in. Graham gets some more meters going for them. And now Putka will go ahead and move it to the centers. A good step back inside. Finds them right at the 50. We see a bunch of white jerseys, though, getting in that space. They're right around the hinges. They've got a lot of space out wide if they can move it. They're going to go ahead and take it to the forwards. Quick ball could set them apart. We see Putka. He's going to go ahead and move it out the back, trying to find his winger. That's 14, Fielding. He's met, though, heavily by the number 14, Fine of the Knights, and taken right into touch.
We might have a penalty here for a late tackle against Marion, potentially. I think I saw a guy come off his feet to hit one of the Notre Dame ball carriers who was on the ground. I'm not sure if that's what they're discussing, but they're definitely taking a minute to discuss something.
Yeah, and within the chaos of rugby, it's so important to have assistant referees to see what the referee does not. It looks like there is going to be a conversation happening with the captain. Pierce kind of getting in there to try and see what is happening. Wondering if there's going to be a warning. Looks like it's a penalty. They're so ball hungry. Number 21, Portelli. He's been all over it after replacing Mar earlier on. We see Putka come up. And of course, they're going to go ahead and look for the line out there. Mauls do such a good job, but it does not find touch in Marion. Now they're going to go ahead and look to attack out. They take it right into the center on the 22. About 6 minutes left to go in the second half. They're leading 41-27. So they're going to go ahead and use the forwards. Trying to slow down the clock a little bit. They're going to go ahead and take it right into Notre Dame. The home team is really going to have to generate a turnover if they want another score. Trying to work it wide. They're outside of the 22, so a kick would have to stay in if they're going to go ahead and do that. But they continue to run this ball. Marion University, they finally go ahead and they bring it back into the 22. Ball does not find touch. It looks like the number 10 is still down, Lorenzetti, after a wayward kick. But did Notre Dame go ahead and get one more try? It looks like they did. Those little chip kicks from the beginning now allow them to get one more try on the board. Pat, what do you think?
Man, it's go Fiji go. These kicks, this flair at the end, this is fantastic. Once you see them play, once Notre Dame gets a little bit of ball in hand with a little bit of space, you can see the skill of the players. Marion has been suffocating them with their physicality, with their speed, their athleticism all night. When Notre Dame's been able to get into space and execute their skill, they've had something to show. And right there, it was a great play by the fullback. The chip over the top, This time the ball bounced Notre Dame's way, and we might have a little game here at the end.
We love the skill set of the kick. That was number 15, Gordon, with the chip kick and the receipt. It looks like the number 10, Lorenzetti, gripped his leg after that kick, wondering if it's a hamstring issue. He's up and walking. I'll go ahead and keep trotting it off as we wait for this conversion to come. Putka gets it in between the sticks. Kick is good. So we're at 34-41. Marion's still leading. We've got about less than 4 minutes to go, but Marion will go ahead and set up for a kickoff to Notre Dame.
What a great kick by Putka. I mean, the pressure there. If he misses that, the game's practically over. There's no time to score twice again. But he slots it. Notre Dame, they need a try, preferably in the middle of the field, and they might be able to tie this thing up. And I don't know if this is an overtime eligible game. This is just a friendly. This is a non-conference match. I don't know if they'll do overtime, if we could potentially go to a tie, but Notre Dame definitely fighting to not lose here, and that is on the table in the final 3 minutes.
Definitely living up to their name is the Fighting Irish, the home team here at Stinson Rugby Field. We've had such an amazing match. Friday Night Lights, Marion University, they go ahead and kick deep, and they're found in center field. They're over the 22 now. Notre Dame is going to have to maintain possession. They've got some real estate out wide. They like to go ahead and cut back in. What a big tackle, though, from Marion. They're going to go ahead and try and hit the hinge of that defense. They get good go forward and a beautiful clear out ruck. They're going to go ahead and kick now. Kind of a risky play for Notre Dame, but it pins Marion back in their own end.
I wonder if they're not calling for an offsides here. I don't know where the rest of Notre Dame's going. They've disappeared off screen. They seem to think that, oh, it's a penalty coming back. Wow.
2 minutes left to go. Notre Dame will go ahead and kick yet again for the line out. This ball this time does find touch, and it is prime attacking position. We're within the confines of a good score. Can the Fighting Irish punch in the last bit as they did in the first half? Ball goes up. It's in the front pod now, and it's going to go ahead and work through the hands. Putka gives a little bit of a dish off there to an inside wing. Ball is met cleanly, and Marion is putting a lot of pressure on it to break down. It causes the ball to go ahead and hit the deck. Unclear as to who came up with that. Notre Dame, though, they're over top of the ball, but they're all the way back behind the 50. This is a long feat for them. 1:20 left to go. Graham goes ahead and takes it into the heart. There's some real estate, though, to work out wide, but Putka, he takes it right back into the defense. Draws a little bit of them in with him, and now they're going to have to regather. Notre Dame, they take it right into the guts of the Knights. Graham, yet again, takes it right into contact. A nice little draw and pass. Good set of hands. They're at the 50 now. We're at less than a minute, and they need a try and a conversion in order to tie it up. But Graham looks a little bit isolated. Marion get over top of the ball. Hinkle goes down after a big contest at the ruck, and it looks like a penalty yet again for an offsides call.
From Notre Dame, I just cannot forget about the boot. Ball in hand. It's all or nothing. So holding the ball and possessing the ball until the end of the game, if you don't cross that white line down there that Marion is so desperately defending, it means nothing. You've got to cross that line. So don't take the kick out of your toolbox. Marion is not defending it well. They're still only resourcing it with one guy. You can only cover a certain part of the grass. So Notre Dame, if you see them stall out again, if you see them get tackled behind the gain line, let's remember that kick.
We see fans right up at the gate as this is a massive call, but a not straight goes in favor of Marion University, and it looks like Hinkle is going to give a scrum to Marion University. We see high fives all around as we are completely out of time. Just unfortunate for Notre Dame.
It really is. It's unfortunate the reserve hooker, unfortunately, threw that on the inside face of his target. And unless the Irish can steal this scrum, that is going to seal their fate.
This is a really big scrum for both teams here. 41-34, Marion leading. It looks like Marion will get this ball, working it to the back. It's still within, and a knock-on happened. Notre Dame now have it. Looks like Hinkle is going to go ahead and consult with his AR as to if it was an offsides call.
A knock-on can end the game. I mean, if the referee is at full time and it's a knock-on, even if it's against the team that's losing, it can end the game.
Hinkle comes back. It's a knock-on. It looks like he signifies full time, and Marion University will take the win, 41-34 over the home team. Notre Dame fighting Irish. But Pat, final thoughts from you.
Man, what a fantastic matchup. It looked like it was going to get away from the Fighting Irish there a little bit in the middle of the game, but fantastic resilience. What a showcase of college rugby. Some of the best of club rugby, some of the best of varsity rugby meeting here in one of the absolute top venues in the country. It was a fantastic treat in Friday Night Rugby, and it was a joy to share a little time with you, Darian.
Big pleasure, Pat. Next Level Rugby doing a wonderful job of working with National Collegiate Rugby to showcase the talent that we have here at the grassroots level here in the United States. Big shout out to the Notre Dame team, Nicholas Rithraff that was stuck with us, Richard Allen, and of course, Ryan Ginty for inviting you and I, Pat, to go ahead and talk shop about this wonderful sport that we have. Stay tuned with us every Friday. We're going to keep bringing you more action as we continue to rock and roll. Thanks for tuning in with us, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.